years on Becky Court, and now it's been over at the condo for 2 years.
Good. It's a hardy guy.
It really is. I mean, when I dug it up the last time, the quorum is probably as big as a cantaloupe now. So it makes a head of cyclamen probably 16 inches across.
Because this is a persicum. I wasn't sure if persicums were hardy here, because I can't remember which one I have. It's Quum or something. It's a different. It's a different. It's a different species.
Well, Kyle generally shows up right as the theme is playing.
Just about. Oh, did I check it?
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Okay.
Let's make sure you're balanced, though. Ray, say something.
Good morning. This is Ray.
What's your first name?
Heather.
Heather. Go ahead and say something, Heather.
Good morning. This is Heather.
Again.
Should I move closer?
Go ahead and just talk where you normally don't talk.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Keep talking.
Hello. Come on in. Come listen to the radio.
Ray, go ahead and say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Are you going to be closer to the mic?
Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
That looks good.
Okay. I was late this morning because my dog is pouting.
Uh-oh. Why is that?
I'm not sure, but when I got her up, she ran straight downstairs and got on her pillow and just laid there. So I had to go down and get her. I got her up to the front door, put her jacket on. She ran all the way back to the far end of the house and jumped back in her cage. So I went and drug her out of there, took her downstairs, took the thingy off, and then she went out and she's everything's fine.
Maybe you kicked her when you were sleeping and you don't remember.
I think she's turning into a cranky adult dog. I mean, she's still very, warm, loving, blah, 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 but she gets moody. Kind of like me.
So would that club moss
Yes.
be hardy here?
I think it would be.
Probably
down
could
to
be.
Maybe 20.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The other night, my wife and I, it sounded like there was some kind of rodent in the wall chewing on something over here. And what you recommending? We just...
Here in the studio?
Yeah, right in its wall.
Oh.
You could hear kind of a...
Yeah, well, it could be everything from a meadow mouse to...
a rat.
Uh-huh.
A rat, yeah.
So we...
Did you see the rat the other day?
I saw the picture of it. I didn't actually see it.
I haven't seen the picture yet either.
Yeah.
But just listening to Rhonda tell me.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, somebody brought a rat.
A wood rat, yeah.
Yeah, a wood rat into the extension office in a jar.
Alive?
It was dead.
Was it dead?
It was dead. But they didn't know. They just said, "Here, I want you to look at this," and placed it on the counter. And the women up front were freaking out because they're like, "They didn't even warn us. They just stuck this dead rat up on the counter."
Okay, that's what. Yeah.
And I guess it had a bushy tail, so that makes it a wood rat, apparently, according to Chip. So I'm glad I wasn't there.
Where did they live?
I'm not really sure.
Oh.
I didn't hear all the details.
They have this Mac Water Night sewer inspection truck that goes around and runs robots down the sewer lines to check for leaks and cracks and damage.
That's good.
And they discovered that the downtown main sewers all have very large rats.
I believe it.
They just don't talk about them. Yeah, they got video of them. Rats like small cats. They don't come up. I mean, they stay down there.
Yeah.
It's just
Sewer rats.
sewer rats.
Mm-hmm.
We got them too.
Really?
Yeah, just like New York or any other city.
Don't, how do they, so don't rats have to breathe? I guess the
think
sewer.
there's
They
air down
adapt
there.
to it.
Apparently, they just don't need light.
I mean, it's stone dark too.
Yeah.
They get around by smell.
Okay.
I bet whoever used to inspect the sewers is glad they have robots doing it now. Would that be the worst job?
Uh,
I wouldn't want it.
you guys put on a really good show the other night.
Really, I was thinking I did terribly.
Oh,
I felt so
no.
bad afterwards. I was like, I
Really?
should have said this and this and this, and I didn't.
Oh, it's your first one for one thing.
Yeah.
That part, you adapt each year. But no, as far as the gals put on good decor, the food was
Oh, yeah.
fabulous. The meeting was shorter than I expected, and everybody
Okay.
was notated as necessary. I thought it went really well.
So if he doesn't show up, can you start this?
Yeah. I mean, he's probably on his way though.
Make sure the doors are locked. You can run in.
Yeah, we can just go on the two of us. That's not a problem.
So you do this one, this one.
Okay. He was 15 minutes out at 8:45, so he should be here in the next 2 minutes.
He likes to cut it close.
Yeah, well,
Well, the funny part about it is it's on your video, so you just. We, I don't know how we need to do this, Ray, but, I would like to get a second camera running. And it's gonna cost $400 to get it running. And we have to send it in for repair. The problem with just doing the one camera is we're doing this all the time. Have you noticed the videos? We can't switch back and forth because the
true.
focus thing.
Well, yeah, I realize that, but you only got one camera.
So I'm trying to figure out, my wife won't let me spend $400 on a camera right now. So I'm trying to figure out how to fund that.
Ask Nick.
Nicolizer?
Sure.
That's not a bad idea.
You know, see what he thinks. That's something that should probably come from you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
The other thing is you might research Linfield's audiovisual department to see if they had one you could borrow.
There it is.
Hey, Sweetum.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, usually, pretty much.
Translated right on time.
Headphones on.
Good.
Those are yours.
What did I do?
Celeste's, and it's your graduation.
You
You got a whole box of-
recertified and
Did I
have an
really?
appreciation award.
Wow. I didn't even realize that I was certified. It was not my intention.
Well, I should hope it was, or we'd have to kick you off the radio.
Right. I thought that my certification was up next year or something like that.
Every year.
Every year?
It's every October 31st.
So I need to go to those meetings more.
You're supposed to be the messenger, Ray. You're supposed to tell him that he needed to put in his hours by the 31st to recertify.
Yeah, I'm having a dog paddle here, so just as we go. program here.
I wouldn't let him run certified.
Thanks.
I'd loan him some.
Now, is the categorizing of the hours. It's not even an issue. Just where do I put them?
You can always call and ask.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Well,
You're trapped.
Ray, you got your scripts? You got yours. I got that too.
Yep, we got that too. We got the weather.
where's your adapter?
Unfortunately, Weather Cafe did not publish a Friday forecast. It looks like they
Did they do it on Wednesday or something because of before the storm?
They did it Monday, and then they changed the site format.
Oh.
And it took me a while to find where they put it to start with.
You're playing the theme. You're on the air in 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
And then when I printed it off, it came out this.
It's very small.
Yeah.
Good thing you're wearing.
And you are tuned right here to.
To the root of it.
That's right, Ray. Good morning. How are you doing?
Absolutely splendidly. It's been a great week. I'm done with pretty much Christmas decor. It's up or it's not.
Christmas
going
shopping? What about Christmas
up.
shopping? Yeah. Yes. No. That's
No,
okay.
I did
You've
that.
got most of it done. That's great.
I did that.
Uh-huh. So we did just jump right in here. You're listening to The Root of It, your weekly Yamhill Gardening radio show. I'm Kyle Hunter. That's Ray Van Blerick. I'm over there. We do have an in-studio guest, Heather Stoven.
Yeah, this morning we have Heather Stoven, who is our resident angel at the Extension office. She's guide, our master gardener boss.
It's one way to describe it.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to get to her in just a second.
Yep.
But for right now, we're going to jump into the weather that we do usually get to.
Yeah,
in the mornings, and it's a good one.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed the windstorm the other day. I hope. I hope you didn't have to go over to your neighbor's house to get that umbrella off your picnic table. But
I had more than one thing happen like that. I actually had I had just recovered my hoop house. That didn't happen anymore. That was gone. And then I also had a covering for my compost bin. It was a nice tin little shed thing, and it blew, let's say, about a 50 feet, 100 feet away from there.
Okay. That's
So,
not bad. They'd
it
go
was-
clear out in the pasture or something.
Yeah, and I knew it was going to be windy because I've got a whole forest of these trees, but you can see the whole entire length of the tree because all of the branches part, and that's what I was looking at. I drove up home, and then on this hill, all I see are just these bare trees, and it's just gusty.
I used to live in Cascade Locks, and up there all the trees have limbs only on the east side.
On the east side.
A lot of the trees have limbs mostly on the east side, especially down by the riverbanks.
Did you
Yeah,
you lose power at all?
No,
No.
we were fine.
Okay, well, we lost power for the afternoon and of Thursday, so we didn't get back in Amity until, I don't know, we got home at about 9 o'clock, and we got it. But I did see a few branches and limbs that fell.
Oh, my grandkids out in East Portland, they all lost power for, a whole day.
And I remember the first time that this
No
happened
games,
to me.
nothing.
I thought, and that's it. It sneaks up on you because
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, well, that's fine. The lights are out. Well, I'll just go in this room, and I go to turn on the light. Like the first thought is, well, everything is lights. Go into the bathroom. No, there's no lights there.
No. They had to go to the other side of 122nd to go to a show.
No,
Yeah, it was
because there were pockets.
tough times.
Well, I came in. I came into McMinnville, and the business I needed to go to. The lights were out here
Oops.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
and-
was a few here,
Yeah.
but no. This next week is going to be more seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be not so bad. Kind of warm in the daytime, like 50-ish.
Right.
And
And today we're looking at 50, partly cloudy.
Yeah.
Which is really good because it will give me a chance to get out in the garden. I did get out into the garden yesterday. That sunshine at the in the afternoon kind of snuck up on me.
oh yeah, I figured the dog will get a walk after lunch.
Well, I had to take my coat off. I wasn't anticipating that either. And it was we had a nice sunny area.
Wait till after the 19th of December, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a one of them polar things happen.
Well,
Look at it.
Well, it looks like on Thursday the 18th, it's overcast, and then it switches to rain for a while.
Yeah.
But still, the lows are only in the lower 40s, so it's still, we're not dipping down into any freezing territory for the foreseeable.
Not out loud.
Well, it's true. We that is still 7 days away, and everything changes tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they could roll the cards again by then.
yeah, but I've gotten used to the rain, and I'm in there and I'm working.
Oh,
And
this
so
is-
it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, this is normal.
Not at all.
At least we didn't get the horrible torrential downpours they got in California. There was a picture in the Statesman Journal this morning about a guy's backhoe buried.
Oh,
Just the top knuckle of the boom sticking up out of the mud.
yeah.
I
yeah.
go, oh, man.
Everything's just washing away and finding its
Yeah.
way to the lowest point. Yeah, but not for us. For us, it just seems
No,
to
no,
stick
it just
around.
sprinkles. Yeah.
I was noticing that as I was driving around the county this year, as opposed to last year, the swales on the side of the roads far more filled this year than they were probably this
Yeah.
time last year, or even the whole time last year.
I
So-
don't get too concerned until the Yamhill floods the golf course.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll
that's the
happen.
point. Yeah.
Then we've had some rain.
Yeah. The and the bayou.
Yeah, the Bayou Golf Course. That's
Yep.
how they resilt the greens every year.
Right. So they keep that lush
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
Really great mountain silt washes down from the Yamhill River.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But no golf going on at that
No,
time.
no,
Not in a
no.
canoe.
No.
Not in a canoe.
You could kayak out there, though. Yeah, I've seen it deep enough.
But have you noticed it? It feels like more rain this year than last year, right?
Well, it came in a 2-hour block.
Oh.
Yeah, and last year I think about this time was when we had that really cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was
We had the
Such
freezing
cold-
spell that
that's
where everything was
true. Good
suffering.
point.
Like my pear tree showed signs of it because of that frost that happened then.
Yeah.
But we've already had 2 good frost spells.
Yeah, but they weren't really, nasty.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Heather. It was December 12th through the 19th last
like
year.
that.
Good memory.
22 degrees and stuff like that. It was ugh.
Chilly.
No, you're absolutely right. That was memorable. and we do still talk about the effects of that. So we've got nice seasonal weather.
Yep, it's
Nothing
going to be
big.
okay.
No covering needed to do
Yeah.
anything. So
Not really.
great.
We'll be fine for the next, 7 to 10 days anyway.
Good.
So anyway, we have Heather this morning, who's
Mm-hmm.
our new extension agent,
Right?
graduate of University of Minnesota.
No.
I'm from the state of Minnesota,
Oh, you're
but
from-
I did not go to the University of Minnesota. I
Where-
went to the College of St. Benedict, which is a small private school in St. Joseph, Minnesota.
Oh.
And then I went to UC Davis for my master's degree in integrated pest management.
Oh, fabulous.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UC Davis is, that's like the Oregon State of...
Yes, it
Of
is. It's
California,
yep.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's more like the UC Davis of the United States. But
Yep, so it is at the land grant university
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
California. Yes.
Great. So working with the extension, what are we doing? Because we've got classes coming up, and because we have new inductees. Just this week, we congratulated everybody who took the classes last year, and are now they've fulfilled their hours and their obligations, and so the new class, we had the graduation, that went well. I wasn't unable to attend, but then as soon as that's over, we get ready for the new classes that start in January.
Yes, that's right. This is a busy time of year for us at the Extension Office because, as you mentioned, we just had our Master Gardener graduation. So all those who took the classes last spring or last winter completed their volunteer hours, and those that fulfilled those requirements then were able to come to the ceremony that was this last week, Wednesday, and we were able to show our appreciation for them. So it was really a wonderful event, and Ray was there, and we have a wonderful dinner and
Oh, man.
hand out some awards, and it's really a lovely evening. And so once we're done with that, then as you mentioned, we're thinking about the classes that start in January, on January 8th, as a matter of fact. And we already have a number of people that have signed up for our classes, so it's been very popular this year. But we still have a few spots left. But it starts on the 8th, as I mentioned, and it's Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we usually have 2 speakers each day that come in, many of which are university professors from OSU, and speak about many different topics. And we also have many veteran master gardeners that will also teach some courses. And so it's really a very wonderful event, and you can learn all about the program and how it works, learn about many different gardening topics.
How long does the class last?
It goes until March, let me see here, the 19th is the last day.
And it's just on Thursdays. And then some of the classes are actually online. So it's not
Yes.
as though every Thursday you're there from 9 until 3. You break away sometimes, or you come in later sometimes, and there are courses available online, which is really convenient.
And there is actually an online course as well that some people do complete through PACE, which is the online university, where you could take the class that way and then join the Yamhill County Master Gardeners and fulfill the volunteer requirement once the online portion is done.
I forget about that sometimes. So
Yeah.
all of the classes that you would be taking online and then plus more are in that tract. The information is available. You could just go to extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill. Very many helpful links right there. But some of the classes that we have available are you're teaching botany.
I am. The first week I'm busy getting ready for the first day.
That seems pretty all-encompassing, the study of plants, right? So
Yes.
So at the end of this 3-hour class, the person's going to know everything they need to know, right?
Yes, because I was going to say, when I was in college at the College of St. Benedict, which we were just talking about, it was a year-long course that that I believe was, an hour or two, a few days a week. And so,
Right. So-
yes, trying to shove that all into 3 hours.
Well, good job,
But-
and it has been done, right?
But no, it'll be an overview that talks a little bit about plant reproduction, flower parts, what are the different types of plants. So kind of a broad overview that really pertains to gardeners and what they need to know.
Yeah, because then the following week, the next class is Plant ID, which is really, I remember this class. That's why you go to this course. That's why you kind of want to become a master gardener, is because you want to be able to identify plants. So it teaches you serrated leaves, different kinds of structures, and very helpful. It's almost every class leads into the other one. We've got integrated pest management, my favorite table grapes, and then soils. Boy, soils is fun. What are your favorite classes? Because you're gonna attend one or two of these.
Oh
right?
yes, I'll get the first 3.
Oh yeah.
Before we leave, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to the botany class because it is the basis for identifying plants and everything else that you need to know about the plant and how it's going to live in your yard.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is wonderful because I lose the tags. they just seem to go away. I don't know.
They never make it
mulch,
into the soil.
they never-
Whenever that plastic pot goes away, so do they. And
Yeah.
but I've found that I'm sticking the tags in there. But after 3 years and chickens pecking and scratching, they're gone. There's nothing left.
Well, they crumble in the sunlight.
Right, and the ink has come off, and they're faded far too much, and I have forgotten. And my problem is that I have, like, let's say about 5 or 6 different sedums. But all I know that I have sedums.
Yeah, plant ID is definitely one of the more important courses that we have, and it's so instrumental for master gardeners to be able to identify plants, because I'm sure you have discussed our master gardener desk before, and all the people that come in with plants that they want to be identified. This is really helpful.
Yeah.
Look what I found in my garden. What is this? Okay, let me get a book. Look at the pretty pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's take a break right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and when we come back, we'll get more involved into that the extension, because I have a few Ask an Expert questions that we can go over, because that is what extension is here for, is to answer the questions of the public. So we will take a break for right now. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
Now, D&D Electrical, McMinnville.
And we are back. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC, your weekly gardening. And we have a guest, Heather Stovin, our extension agent here in Yamhill County. And we were talking, just moving into about what extension is, because we talk about the Master Gardener program, how you can join it. Go to extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill. More information on that and about exactly the extension that we are talking about. I have printed off some Ask an Expert questions, and Ask an Expert is actually it's a site within extension.oregonstate.edu where you just do that. You send in your questions, somebody gets back to you with a well-researched answer, not just somebody coming up with an answer. So this and this is exactly what extension is for people to come in, ask their questions, and get a response. And the question here is, can I eat the mushrooms growing in my backyard? And Ray, what do you think?
Oh, I would not do that on a bet.
See, here's my thing. If you're asking the question, you probably should not do it.
No,
no,
do not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Even, well, as Heather was just saying about even taking an expert out in the woods with you is a chancy business. But
yeah. So here is the response. So if you go to the website and you ask the expert, this response is from Steve Rehnquist. He's the Extension Community Horticulturist down in Douglas County. His response to the question, can I eat the mushrooms growing in my backyard? You should only consider eating the wild collected mushrooms if you have had a class on mushroom identification and you have positively identified them as being safe to eat. There are many more species of poisonous mushrooms than safe to eat. So for the undereducated collector, it is not recommended.
no.
So, bingo.
Yeah, that's why I buy my mushrooms at Safeway.
Right.
I figure there's been several people looked at them before they put them out there. I'm just...
It's what you're dealing with, and but it's a very good question to ask, and I'm really happy that the person sent this question in, and instead of just going out and
Good to
assuming
ask before rather than after.
Right, exactly, because we talk about stories where families have gone out and foraged for them, and then everybody needed a liver transplant.
Right.
So so very bad results, and the fact that they're saying there are more poisonous mushrooms than beneficial ones, than the ones you can eat, then odds are not in your favor.
Some can really look alike.
Right.
So you really have to know what you're looking for.
Right. Is that a red dot, or is that more of a maroon or a dark? Yeah. If you have to ask, then just don't do it.
They're better just left right where they're at in the wild, unless you really know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right there in the island in our parking lot, we have a ring of mushrooms that are absolutely gorgeous, and I'll get the correct name for them. Mm-hmm. But they're very tall. They're like 10 inches across. Some of them probably 12 inches tall, and have big red dots on them all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're in this ring that's probably 2 feet wide, but it's 16 feet across.
Oh my gosh.
I went out and
That sounds
taped it.
beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it's a gorgeous display. Them suckers are deadly.
Yeah. Well, and my thing,
They're not-
whenever I hear there are red spots on any kind of plant, vegetation, or fungus, it's like, well, let's stay away from that.
Yeah.
Red spots are bad on. They just sound bad.
That's nature's way of telling me to,
Stay away.
stay away. Don't go there, Ray. Don't put them in the spaghetti.
So we get questions about mushrooms, but then we get other questions. So you're around those, Heather. What kind of questions? What kind of interaction do you have with the people that are coming into the office?
Sure. We have, as you mentioned, we have Ask an Expert, which is an online way for people to ask questions. So I do get those as well. Mm-hmm. But we also have many people that come into the Extension office that ask us about a multitude of things. And it really depends on the season what sort of things we get. You can get a lot of disease questions in the spring. If there's something, the lettuce has spots or the tomato is wilting, that sort of thing. Insect identification, we have a very excellent master gardener who used to be an educator who really is able to answer a lot of our insect identification questions. And this time of year, we're actually getting a lot of household pest questions. Moths in their cupboard, that sort of
Yeah.
thing, and stored grains and
Okay, so this morning I heard a screech coming from the kitchen, and it was very calm. Very calm screech. But
I don't that doesn't make sense.
Hun, will you come in here? There's a large bug. And sure enough, there was this like 3-inch beetle crawling. And it was a beetle. I've never seen a beetle in my house. I've seen, ants and moths and ladybugs and all of box elder bugs, but never this large beetle. So yeah, I can only and this is my little farm, my house, where everything is finding its way in at this point.
It's cold out there, baby.
It's
Yeah.
been raining.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's wet.
a lot of spider questions, in the fall. So
Yeah, I am also the spider remover too. And all it involves really is just grabbing a paper towel, picking the spider up gently,
Yeah.
or not so gently sometimes, just throwing it outside. And there, I've done my PETA service for the day,
Yeah.
because the spider gets to live.
Right, but it may not be very happy outside, to be honest.
Oh, I know.
'cause
No,
many
no,
of
no.
them don't like it out
No,
there.
very angry. They're going from this very warm environment, and sometimes they don't come off of the towel right away. So I've got to slam them on the cold wall or something like that. So then they're down on the ground, and they maybe found their way into a puddle, and they're just like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" yeah, no, but at least it didn't squash them. They've
Right.
got a chance.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, when we receive samples in the extension office, we often receive them in funny manners, kind of like what you're saying,
In
and
a paper
in
towel?
a paper towel. And so somebody will come and they'll open up their paper towel and be like, "I have this bug," and
And now
And
you
those
have
that-
it.
and those that work at the desk, get kind of freaked out at that sort of thing. So yeah, there is actually a good way to collect samples if you want to bring them into the extension office. It's good to bring them in a jar and bring them in something that's not going to be squished so the insect can be saved and identified. Because a lot of times we'll get the samples in, we'll put them into alcohol so that they can be preserved, and then we can look at it under the microscope. So we actually have some pretty nice equipment in the extension office where we can identify insects.
It really helps if you have a spider or a bee or a wasp or something flying around in your house and you can catch it without smashing it.
Yeah.
To go ahead and give it a half ounce of rubbing alcohol. Give it one last good buzz.
Right.
Then bring it into the extension office.
Right, because that by putting it in water, that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily kill it because of the way that its book lungs work. But putting it in the alcohol, it opens those book lungs and makes it take in the alcohol,
Right.
and then it's preserved and it's not squashed, and then it's not possibly crawling around and getting out of said small glass container.
You
Well,
can also put it in the freezer as well
The
to kill
freezer?
it. Yeah, you can put the insects in the freezer. Sometimes it takes a while, though, depending upon what the insect is. Sometimes it'll be a multitude of hours, or you think it'll be
Takes a
dead.
while.
You take it out, and it comes back to life again. But
It was one of the things that one of the questions that I had answered by taking the classes and taking the insect class, particularly for the Master Gardener class, because I once had this big fly that was in a glass water of mine. It was just like flapping around for 3, 4, 5 days. It was a big one, so I figured it was living off its fat. But I've also thought that at one point it would drown, but it's not how it works because
No.
of the way that they breathe. They don't breathe in through their mouth. The question got answered through the insect class. So the best way to do it, take the alcohol, put them in there that way.
Any alcohol will work just fine.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
have you done this from experience,
You've
right?
got, you've got that slug
You
bait
can kill
beer
yellow
left
jackets
over.
with a good screwdriver.
A multitude of ways.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't use the stoli to bring the bug into the.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you want the stolen,
Yeah.
probably.
Well, this turned kind of grim here, all this discussion about killing insects.
Well, then let's turn it to other vermin that are coming in because it is winter time, and
Mice.
is the mice? The mice
Yeah,
are coming
mice
in.
and rats.
Yeah, and rats. I just have mice.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
deal with any rats.
Okay.
Do you have rats coming in?
No, I don't have. I have no rats, no mice.
All right. So actually, you know what? We're going to take a break, and because this is an interesting enough topic and to discuss, because voles. That's what I deal with my fields, and we can talk about the difference between voles and mice, but other things that are coming in during the winter times. But we'll take a break right now. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
There are times you simply need a friend, someone who will stop and listen to your needs. Macy & Son have a heritage of helping Yamhill County residents in their hour of need. Macy & Son have been serving families here since 1903, 5 generations of their family taking care of yours. Macy & Son, in the business of helping people and meeting the individual needs of McMinnville area families, and will continue to do so in the future. At the time when you need someone who cares, understands, and is there to help, call Macy & Son, serving 9 communities in Yamhill County with funeral needs.
Since 1975, Homeward Bound Pets has provided a loving, temporary home for dogs and cats looking for that forever home. Homeward Bound Pets is a no-kill, no-cage, non-profit adoption shelter. If you're looking for that special pet for your home, we invite you to come and see us. If you want to make sure that we continue to provide loving care for animals, we ask for your continued support. Homeward Bound Pets is open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4. You'll find us on Loop Road, just east of the Air Museum off Highway 18. You can visit our website at hbpets.org. Homeward Bound Pets, 503-472-0341.
Right here to The Root of It on KLYC 1260 AM. We've been talking about winter vermin and things that might be creeping and crawling their ways into your houses or not. And we were leaving off the subject with mice that are coming in.
Yeah, that's it's a common problem, especially if you live out in your fields and things like that, and don't have a capable cat.
Mm-hmm. Or enough capable cats.
Because
let's take my for instance, and this is probably true throughout Yamhill County, people with a little bit of property, and you've got the field mice, which are
it's normal.
Yeah, and but you've got voles and you've got mice, and they're different because they're actually in different families. They're both rodents, but one of them, the vole, is actually more related to a shrew or a lemming than it is to a mouse. And so the vole is it's a little stouter, a little smaller, and it has a shorter tail, so that's how you can tell. But more importantly, they've got these really ugly teeth that just stick out, and these front teeth. So you've got these nice little cute mouse teeth. Well, these ones a little longer than that, a little, like more beaver-like, even longer than that. But they continue to grow throughout their entire life.
Until they break them off on a tough branch.
And it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
It keeps coming back.
Well, it's kind of the nature of the beast.
Right.
You know, as long as they don't break them off at root level.
So-
Because they have to survive out there eating tree limbs and roots. And,
Exactly, and
you
that's
know.
what the vole does. So you've got the difference between these vole and these mice. The mice are going to come in the winter, whereas these voles, they've got this hole in the ground that they're like, oh, this is fine. I can eat the grass seed that's all around me, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you look at a field, you can see these things every once in a while just come up and run back. They're not going very far. They're only going about 6 inches, and they're eating whatever's around them, and then they're running back into their hole. And if they don't have enough of this grass seed, if they don't have enough of this food, then they go after the trees, and that's when you get the girdling, and that's why they have these teeth for real, because they'll just girdle all the way around the base of these trees.
They normally live on grass shoots and they're herbivores.
Mm-hmm.
But mice, the problem is they do kind of look alike.
Yeah.
I mean, when it runs out from underneath the kitchen table, you don't know if you got a mouse or vole.
Is that a mouse or a vole? Well,
Yeah.
more than likely it's a mouse, because the voles they're like, no, we don't need to go inside. We've
No.
got this hole in the ground. We don't have to create a hole above ground like you, mouse.
Yeah. We're our
Like
own
you.
apartment engineers.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So what else about the vole? The vole is a problem with the grass seed because if you get too much of these, they can actually
They can
affect
do
the grass seed industry almost by 15%
Yeah.
damage.
You know,
which is-
surprisingly enough, that little guys eat a lot.
yeah, because there's a lot of them because they're very, as it says, successful breeders, which
Oh.
which means that they're very, very good at making the babies, and they can live up to 15 to 19 months. So, so I don't know if you've, like I said, I don't know if you've seen these voles, but they're pretty nasty looking. They're not cute mice.
No, they're not one you're going to want in a pet.
Right. Yeah. So, so what else you got there, Ray?
Well, we had another question through the email
Oh, great.
about building a raised bed.
Ooh.
And this was something that we actually have plans for at the extension office. You can come in and ask for plans, and they're very simple. It's just build a box. You can use any material you want, from concrete blocks to 2x4s, recycled wood, anything like that works fine. There is no real way to build a raised bed, or you can do it without walls.
Extension.oregonstate.edu. There's a search field. Type in raised beds, and they've got the PDF right there for you.
You can
for you to
download
print
it.
out.
It costs nothing.
Mm-hmm. Or come down
Yeah,
to the
there's-
extension office.
Yeah, many extension publications online, and as you said, you can get them also in the office.
Mm-hmm. They got a nice little spindle of the publications down there at the office. That's at 2050 Lafayette in McMinnville, and many publications. But let's talk about the raised bed, because what are the benefits of the raised bed?
Well, it's especially for people that may have a bad back. You bend over less. It's easier to care for. You can start gardening a little earlier in the spring because it'll warm up quicker. There's a lot of reasons why people use raised beds.
If you don't have good soil, you can add
you can-
add good soil from multitude of sources.
That's right. We've got Northwest Greenland. That's a Recology company. They go ahead and that's where you get the compost. And we've talked about the different kinds of soil amendments that they have, and particularly soil that you can get. And then you can add some perlite, some stone,
Yeah.
some whatever. But the main benefit is you get to pick your soil, and you get to, and it's more porous, because we talk about the soil that we're gifted with here in Yamhill. It's a very nutritious clay, but it's got to be broken down, and it's got to be finessed in a certain kind of way. And so with the raised bed, you choose it, you pick the conditions, and then you take care of it.
Well, with Northwest Greenlands, one of the miracles is the variety of things that they have. If you have really acid soil, they have compost you can add to it. If you have really basic soil, they've got nutrients soil that you can add to, blend into your soil. My beds are up about 6 inches above the sidewalk now because I started.
Keep adding.
I
keep
started
adding.
out with just rock hard clay,
Yeah.
and have taken it home pickup load by pickup load, and
Yeah, one of the benefits also with a raised bed is you get the longer growing season because you're not down in the ground. It's warmer, more consistent temperature that you're dealing with also. When constructing, I mean, we talk about the construction of these things. Let's just say that you have 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x10s, just boards, just put together 4 boards. You've made a rectangle, you've made a square, and then you go ahead and you fill that in. That's the basic frame,
that's
right?
it.
That's it.
Put some ground cloth in the bottom to protect yourself against our little furry friends that we were just talking about, the moles and voles and things that would love to come up and eat your beets.
Yep. The most important thing that I learned when I constructed mine, though, was that you want the board to be down at least, you want to be 6 inches into the ground. Otherwise, the soil that you're spending good money on has a way of just creeping out from the raised bed. So
It leaks.
yeah, it leaks. So
Yeah.
so you can then also line it with the landscape fabric also
Right.
to prevent that if you've got cracks, because you take 6 2x4s, you stack them on top of each other. There's cracks in between there.
Can be.
So you put some landscaping fabric in between there, but for me, I feel like I get up on a soapbox because it's the biggest mistake I made, because I probably lost about a good unit of soil.
Oh,
They're falling out
the
of the
dribbled?
ground. Yeah.
Oh
over
my.
the- yeah.
Oh,
so,
I'm sorry.
yeah, but I learned, and,
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
that has been fixed, and so I hope that others may learn from my mistake. But the easiest way to do it, but it's a way to express yourself also as a gardener. You know, what are you using? Are you using cedar? Is it
Yeah.
inlaid? Are you dovetailing? Are you know? It's a fun thing to do.
Well, over to Community Garden, you guys dedicated those new gardens over there a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Absolutely demonstration perfect to go and look at. And
Where's
Yeah.
community garden?
Community Garden's off,
It's off of Burnett,
Burnett.
and West Side Road.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep, at the Cooperative Ministries Church has some space over there where they've also had a garden underway, and so we have joined with them. And yeah, they just finished building a number of raised beds, so it's ready for next year for people who would like to have plots, and it's
Do they
yeah,
have
they
anything going for the winter, or is
I-
it shut down?
I believe it's shut down,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
not 100% positive. But
Mhm.
yeah, the raised beds are ready, and they did a wonderful job. They've been so busy this year getting the spot underway.
It is kind of one of those garden constructions that can go on right now. You can make these because you're just putting posts into the ground.
Yeah.
And one of the concerns, though, using the pressure treated wood, is it not organic enough for me as it is because they use chemicals to treat that wood. The main one is copper, but that concern really isn't really there because the amount of copper or the amount of chemicals used to pressure treat this wood doesn't really leach into the soil, and then that doesn't leach into the food or the plant that
Not
you're going to
really.
eat. Right. And then that which does isn't really enough to have any negative effect on you. So do I use the pressure treated wood that you might find at a big box store, lumber store, something like that? It's fine.
You can. It's pretty.
Yep.
But you can also use just untreated lumber, and it'll last for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to rot out that quick.
I pause because stuff rots in this state a little
It
bit more
does.
than it does in any other state I've
eventually,
been to.
it'll
Eventually.
you'll blow out a
Present-
sidewall and have to buy a new
Presently.
board.
Yeah. But you don't have any raised beds, and I'm
No,
in my
but
maintenance.
I'm seriously considering going ahead and if there's any space left over there at the community garden, go ahead and rent a row
Ooh.
next year when I get back.
Yeah. Ray, you're going away.
I am for just a little while.
Yeah. Let's drop that in.
Yeah, I will be gone from the middle of January till at least probably the end of April, first week of May.
Yeah.
But I will be in constant contact. We will have.
You sound morose. You sound very sad about it. And
I'm
and
trying
in
not
real-
to. Well, I'm
in
trying
reality-
not to do this little Snoopy dance on the table. You poor suckers are going to stay here.
It's
and-
gonna rain
and
here.
not say that,
And you're going to a place where it doesn't rain.
according to legend.
Right.
Although a friend of mine so lovingly just sent me the weather report from Arizona and New Mexico where they had flash floods. There was cars in the Safeway parking lot.
Yeah,
You know.
and so for those who can't recognize from your dulcet tone voice there that you are retired,
I am.
would like to experience the country, and so you're traveling a bit.
Yeah,
You're
we're
be
gonna
gone
we're
for
gonna
a few
take a little
months.
bit and go out and
Sounds
see
good.
how people garden and other. I did this a couple of years ago, and we lived off of farmers markets all over the place. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
And I get to go and find other master gardeners in obscure states, and how do they garden in the desert successfully?
And how do I sleep in until 10? And how do I catch sun rays
Yeah.
in February?
Do I put the canopy out today or not? You see why I don't really...
Do I empty the
I-
waste refuse today?
Yeah.
Or can I go another day?
I have to... Yeah.
All right. So that business is taken
Yeah,
care
let's
of. So with
But I'll
that
be
being
back.
said- and you'll be back.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Absolutely.
going away forever.
We have really we have good people that are coming in. We've got Sharon and Ruth, very capable people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well knowledgeable. I love them both to pieces. They're super gardeners.
Yep.
Sharon grew some zucchini here. Maybe it was last summer.
Sharon's the one that told me, "Hey, your raised bed should probably go into the ground a little
Yeah.
bit more." So yeah,
She had like 8-foot zucchini plants in her backyard. I mean, holy cow! They looked like those tropical plants.
Really? Good.
Giant philodendrons or something.
So put the ear close to Sharon.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. No, she knows her stuff.
Good.
But
Let's take our last
we
break.
need to take a break.
And then for those of you that aren't aware, you can get us on Facebook and Facebook.com. It's KLYC.
Radio.
So anyway, I'm sorry I choked right there. So I'll be right back. And you're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
Using yard debris and leaves to make your soil healthy and your plants happy? That's why Recology actively manages their compost to ensure the highest level of microbial activity. The rich soil amendments promote healthy plant life in your vineyard, your nursery, your yard, and your garden. Recology's compost, which is certified for organic growing, can enhance overall soil quality, provide plants with nutrients they need to grow larger and healthier, minimize the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides, increase your soil's ability to hold moisture and retain nutrients, feed helpful earthworms, create a buffer for your plants against common toxins in the soil, and control pH levels and support essential bacterial growth. It's more than just compost. It's food for your soil. Northwest Greenland's a Recology company. In McMinnville at 2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue. Call Recology Northwest Greenlands at 503-434-1671. 503-434-1671. Recology Northwest Greenlands, a proud sponsor of To the Root of It on KLYC.
When we're alone in our cars, we take on many different personalities. Sometimes we're a vanity plate decoder.
ILV2X4S. What does that mean? I live to cross fours. No, that's nothing. I Las Vegas 2X's, like X's in Vegas. No, ILV2X4S. What? I love 2x4s. Oh my, he's a contractor.
Whoever you are in your car, you'll feel safer after a trip into Les Schwab. They've got all the tires you need for winter driving. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
If you're going to tow something, regardless of how big it is, you need to talk to us at Newburgh Ford. Ford builds trucks for every job. The #1 selling trucks in America for 37 straight years. And it seems like every trade and RV publication recommends them. At Newburgh Ford, our guys are truck experts. You tell us what you want to haul, and we'll get you in a rig with the perfect combination of torque, horsepower, and fuel economy. You'll also appreciate our low prices. So visit us today at Newburgh Ford, where we just work harder for you.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC, 1260 AM, Yamhill County. And we have been talking about winterizing, and taking care of the things that are crawling in, crawling out, and what else? We've had this big windstorm, and I was talking about how my own experience is almost these whole things, these trees. These 50-foot trees feel like they're bowing all the way down, touching the ground, and coming all the way back up. But I was more concerned about this pear tree that I've been nursing for the last 4 to 5 years, and that one is actually pretty much on the ground. It's not bent. Nothing's broken on it. But what do you guys think? What do you think about tree caring after this?
Yeah, it's important to evaluate. If you see that there's any broken limbs that you may have had after the storm, it's good to go out there and look and see how major is the damage, and is it something that you can take care of on your own, or is it something that you need to hire a certified arborist to do? And there's a number of things that you can look at when you look at the tree and determine, is a majority of the tree damaged? And if it is, then the tree may need to be taken down. Same thing with the main leader, the main part of the trunk. If that has been damaged, again, that's something that you may want to consider removing the tree. Or if you find that there's disease in the tree, because a lot of times that's a reason why the tree would have been damaged in the first place.
Yeah, because one of the major concerns when you want to take a tree down is, well, can I? do I? Because is it going to fall on the neighbor's house? Mm-hmm. Is it going to? A lot of people don't have the chainsaw that's involved for taking the tree down. I know that I was experiencing that recently. I need a bigger chainsaw, but I have room. I can take a tree down, and there's nothing. I don't have a neighbor 20 feet from me, so if you're looking for an arborist, that's what you're looking for. If you've had this excessive tree damage and it didn't take down a power line, so that the power company has to come out and take care of your problem, you got to go through an arborist, right? Right,
exactly. And there's some tips on hiring a tree service that I see is sitting in front of you, Ray, put out by the International Society of Arboriculture.
Well, this is for those instances where it would cause more damage for you to actually mess with the tree. I mean, it's leaning towards the house, or it's on power lines, or something of that nature, and it's dangerous work. You can injure yourself really badly being unprepared and just willy-nilly attacking the tree, making firewood, whatever. Be sure to ask for proof of insurance from anybody that you seek to hire. Make sure that they're a reputable company and have personal and property damage, because they can make a mistake and the tree actually end up falling on your house too.
Right, and then you're liable for that.
It's sometimes
that's a really good point.
It's sketchy business sometimes.
Well, these are things that one might not think about in the heat of the moment where you've got the tree on your house.
Don't hire a door-to-door salesman to chop off a tree that's hanging over your house. That's just not good thinking. Right. Find somebody who's I prefer, find a good local person, because then you can go to somebody that they've already worked for and ask them or see what it looks like a year or two after they've been there working on the property. You can see what the results look like. Never allow a tree professional to just top your tree, because you might as well just go ahead and take it down, because then it's going to start rotting from the top down no matter what.
Well, in Amity, I actually, this summer was the year of the tree topping, because in multiple places throughout our little town, that's what people were doing. They were just taking these huge willows, probably about 35, 40 feet tall, and just topping them. And I'm like, well, why aren't they just taking the whole tree down? Because they're leaving about 12, 15 feet of just trunk. But right now, there are about thousands of little suckers on the top of this thing right now that are coming out. So, but every time I talk to somebody about this process and how they've topped the tree, it's the same response as you just gave.
We have a lot of fir and cedar and redwoods and sequoias in town, and they're all pretty much softwood trees. And if you top the leader off, it'll start rotting from the top down. It may take 10 years, but it'll fall over by its own eventually anyway.
Because it's not getting enough power to pull anything up from the roots or anything like that, right?
It really damages the structure of the tree, because as you said, you remove the leader, which is how it has apical dominance and is able to grow straight up. If you remove that, it's going to be branching outwards rather than growing up. And it just structurally is not an attractive tree anymore. And as you said, of course, you put all those cuts in there, and there's a major chance that you're going to have infection.
even power companies. I mean, they can come along and cut trees down that are starting to infringe on power lines, but it's up to the property owner to go ahead and take care of the rest of it. They're not.
They'll cut the limb.
They don't care about your
but
tree.
unless the whole tree is on the power line, they're just taking care of.
They just want to
what
cut
they
down
need
the
to.
part that's, they'll leave the part that's below the power line, because that's, just the way it works. There's some trees over there in my neighborhood that have got like 24-foot limbs sticking out over the street,
Right.
and they're big U-shaped bowls, and I'm just waiting for the year that we get that
It's going to happen, right?
3 feet of snow and that sucker's stripped like a toothpick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it'll
you will
happen.
not have power. So so what else are we looking for in somebody to cut?
Well,
cut down
you
a
want
tree?
you want to find a certified arborist if you can possibly afford it. It's well worth it. The safety factor alone, the reduction of additional damage to your property is well worth it. And they'll have a license. They'll be licensed and bonded, and you can check their references. And that's a really good thing to do when it comes to taking care of your property. Is make sure you if you have a cousin who's a logger, who he probably
That's right. He's got a chainsaw.
Got a
and maybe
chainsaw.
he's got a buddy that isn't working
yeah,
on Tuesday.
and they'll take
come
it down for a case of beer.
Right. Yeah. No.
It can work. I probably would want to make sure it was my other cousin.
Good.
Yeah.
You've got your
Sorry, I got-
your standards.
Yeah,
there. Good job.
I have my standards, but it does need to be addressed.
All right. So that's how we
So
get
anyway.
we get the trees taken down, and they were we had some serious problems. I was thankfully in this day and age of technology, the electric company on their website tells you where there's a power outage and where there's and so I was watching that throughout the whole time, and that is helpful because I can stay away. After the third or fourth time you've lost power, you just understand every year this is going to happen.
It's gonna
once or
happen.
twice. Yep. So what did I do? I went out and I made sure that we had enough water. So I got bottled water, batteries. Made sure we had enough batteries, and Chips Ahoy. So we were
good daddy.
we were stocked for all of that, but it brings it back, and I do need to get better prepared for these kinds of situations when the electricity does go out. But for right now, we've got enough electricity. I mean, in our own batteries, and then we've got water.
Yeah, if you got flashlights and candles and firewood, you're probably good.
Oh, candles.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Big candles.
Right. Exactly. But we do have a generator too, so we will get into that sometimes.
Yeah.
But you've got your emergency kit. Important.
I do. I keep a little firewood in the garage.
Yes.
I'm kind of retarded about that sort of stuff. I keep a 4-pack of batteries handy. I don't stock up a 10-year supply or anything like that. I'm not.
Right. Yeah. And then Heather, you've got your emergency kit all set too. You guys didn't lose power? No power loss?
I have never lost power at my house, I have to say. Maybe for a couple of minutes here and there. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess I would say that I'm a little more unprepared because I haven't had that issue. Because actually we lost power at the extension office on Thursday. So I went home because I was like, well, I guess I can't work at my computer anymore.
No computer, no internet, no Wi-Fi. I guess it's time to go.
So I went home, but I did have power at home. So I guess I could continue working from home remotely. So,
all right. So
but-
so for this week, that's the task at hand is to
Yeah.
get those emergency kits
Yep.
all set
I'll have
for
to get some water for next time, and just in case.
Chips Ahoy.
And Chips Ahoy. Make my 2-year-old daughter bounce off the
Right.
walls a little bit.
They only get 1/4 of a chip of Ahoy. But time is up. We're at 10:01 right now. You've been listening to The Root of It, and we will be back next week. Thank you, Heather, for coming in and
No
talking
problem. This
about
was fun.
extension. And Ray, we'll see you.
Yes, indeedy, and keep your tools sharp.